According to some theorists, there are many different possible universes out there. How many universes exactly? Apparently, an infinite amount. Apparently, any action that you take instantaneously causes this universe to split into different universes. For example, say you are driving down a street and come across an intersection. You can go straight, turn left, turn right, or make a U-turn. So, apparently, there will be universes instantaneously created for each of these scenarios. Or say you go to a food court and there's a pizza place, a burger place, and a hot dog place. And in one universe, you decide to eat pizza. In another universe, you decide to eat a burger. And in a third universe, you decide to eat a hot dog. And maybe in a fourth universe, you decide to eat at none of them. And in a fifth universe, you decide to order from all three. And in a sixth universe, you decide to yell at the server for bad service. And maybe get into a fight with them and get arrested. And the options don't stop there. There could be a universe where you decide to order pepperoni pizza, and another universe where you decide to order pineapple and Canadian bacon pizza, and different universes where you order Coke or Pepsi or both or neither, or one universe where you order Coke first and pizza second, and another universe where you order pizza first and Coke second, and another universe where... I think you get my point. Apparently, there are an infinite amount of parallel universes out there. If that's the case, then anything that can happen has happened somewhere. That can be both a frightening and a comforting thought. Just imagine the worst thing that you possibly can, and in one universe it might have happened to you. And maybe in another universe, you are living a life of leisure and comfort. So chances are that the life that you're living right now, it could be better and it could be worse. Because I don't want this video to turn into a huge downer, let's explore a happy possible parallel universe. Or at least a not so bad one. Let's imagine that somewhere in our recent but not too recent history, something different happened. Okay, let's say that John F. Kennedy was never assassinated that day he decided to take an open-top car ride through the streets of Dallas. How might the country be different if he never died that day? Well, honestly, the changes to our world's history in that case could be huge and hard to predict. It's like tossing a rock into a beehive and trying to predict how the bees will scatter. You know that they are going to scatter, but their exact movements are not predictable. Similarly, without a supercomputer many times more powerful than the most powerful one today, accurately predicting how different the world could be if JFK survived is impossible. But let's try to imagine a parallel universe where he survived anyways. As you probably know, JFK was the president of the United States during the early 1960s. He was a popular president too, and even has an international airport named after him. After he was assassinated, his vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson, became president. Lyndon B. Johnson greatly increased America's involvement in the Vietnam War. He also played a very important role in getting important civil rights legislation passed, ending segregation and expanding voting rights to more Americans. Can we say that none of what LBJ did would have come to pass had JFK remained in power? I mean, not really. JFK was pretty progressive for the time. There's a good chance that he would have supported efforts to pass civil rights legislation. But while JFK did support getting into Vietnam, he wasn't as gung-ho about it as Johnson was. There's a good chance that our involvement there might have been reduced had he survived. But all of this is getting too serious and academic. Let's imagine how JFK's survival might have led to something crazier. Let's say that JFK was able to survive that assassination attempt, and because of that, he was able to go back to the Oval Office a few days later and shoo away a pesky mosquito that tried to land on his neck and suck his blood. And because of that, the mosquito flew back outside to see if it could find blood elsewhere. Say it spotted a tasty-looking woman walking down Pennsylvania Avenue, and then a bird spots that tasty-looking mosquito and catches it. And because of that, the bird is able to provide its chicks with a little more nourishment than it otherwise would have been able to. And because of that, one of its chicks grows up slightly bigger than normal. Say that chick feels that it's big and strong, and so decides that it can fly higher. And because of that, it enters into the engine of a jet plane. And because of that, the plane is forced to land at a nearby airport. And because of that, little Jimmy and his family are forced to cancel their vacation to Hawaii. And because of that, little Jimmy decides to visit the local park instead. And because of that, little Jimmy finds an interesting beetle with a shiny green shell. And because of that, little Jimmy grows up with a strong interest in researching insects. And because of that, Jimmy becomes a biologist at a top-tier research university. And at that university, Jimmy's research leads him to discover that a certain beetle produces a certain previously unknown chemical compound, and that compound apparently has medicinal properties. Apparently, it can be used to cure certain types of cancer. And the altered timeline has somehow led to Oprah Winfrey becoming president of the United States. And she takes up the cause of promoting this cancer cure, speeding up production and distribution of the drug, which miraculously results in far fewer cancer deaths all across the nation, and maybe even the world. And all of this happened because JFK was alive to swat away a particular mosquito. And the results of tiny differences in this world's history could lead to all sorts of wild results. What kinds of parallel universes do you think could be possible? Just think about the wildest, most ridiculous scenario that you can, and theoretically, that world could actually exist somewhere in a parallel universe. If you liked this video, please click like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.